Welcome back to Bookstage and Screen. You're here with Samantha and Gordon, and welcome to the wonderfully talented Chelsea Cassio. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to chat with you. Well, we are going to be chatting with you. Sorry, we're getting to the end of the show.
It's good already.
Yeah, wow, that was fast. That was like a leap in time all of a sudden.
Thanks, Chelsea, and that's all we've got. No, we brought you on to chat because I did notice you in the Writers Victoria summer school, and we've been talking about Writers Victoria all throughout the year and all their great courses. Let's find out a little bit about you and how you got started in your career.
Ooh, how I got started. It was so long ago, so I worry about that question because I think, gee, how far back should I go? But in regards to, I guess, to help emerging writers, I started out in production, actually, so a different department to the TV writers' room, and I basically built my knowledge base in regards to how they produce a TV show, how they produce films and short films and things like that. Yeah. But at the same time, I was also studying at RMIT. I was studying professional writing and editing diploma, and then moved on to the advanced diploma in screenwriting. So doing that while sort of paralleling with my career in production, I guess that's how I got my start, and then eventually got a break on a show called Canal Road quite a few years back, and that was as a script researcher. So suddenly I found myself in the place that I'd always wanted to be, which was in a TV writer's room. So that's essentially how I got started.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
And how did you find the RMIT course? Was it good, bad, indifferent?
I found it wonderful. I absolutely loved it. There were quite a few different streams, so it sort of allowed you to, because at the time doing the professional writing and editing course, I didn't know that I wanted to get into screenwriting, but I knew that I wanted to be a writer. So I studied poetry and playwriting and, editing and things like that, and I just found it really useful in regards to narrowing down what exactly I wanted to do and didn't want to do. Yeah. And the teachers are great. I'm a bit biased because I am a teacher there now. So of course, I think it's wonderful, but at the time I honestly did, so yeah.
And do you think that's the best way for a screenwriter to get their base, get their knowledge?
Definitely. I think at every stage of a screenwriter's career, you need to have a mentor. Even myself, even much more advanced screenwriters, you kind of need a mentor every step of the way, as in whether you're an emerging writer, whether you're in a TV writer's room and that mentor happens to be the boss, your script producer, or it's courses that you attend, or someone who's assessing your script. You kind of need mentors at every stage. And I find for emerging writers, if they're at RMIT or they're at an institution, it's just a great thing to attach yourself to, because suddenly you've got mentors every day, sort of leading you through your career a little bit more at that early stage. So I would definitely suggest education of some sort, or mentorship of some sort.
Okay.
And I think as well with these courses, like the one that you're about to put on as well, it's not just the material that you're taught, it's the networking and meeting people makes up a good chunk of the benefits. Would you agree?
Definitely agree. It's a sad thing that we have to network, because I'm terrible at it, and it's a necessary thing. I mean, it's lovely, obviously, to talk to other writers and pitch your projects to people and such, but I find it quite strange because writers by nature are introverted. So here we are, these introverted, weird sort of people in the corner, and we're asked to get out there and pitch and network and make friends. So it goes against the grain a little bit, but as you say, it's absolutely important to network as much as you can. And these courses are great for that. The last course that I did was at RMIT, and by the end of that 8 weeks, the learners, the students, had actually formed a writing group and now doing that on a monthly basis. So very useful in that aspect.
And I love how writers are so different to actors. Like when you go to any of these events that are like industry events, there's one group of people sitting around doing nothing, and then you've got another group who are just jumping over the top of each other to sing or dance or be the limelight.
Isn't it just a cruel evil that we're all thrown together in this same industry? How unfair. What were the gods thinking? It's just nuts. Like, we have a Christmas party every year, which is held by the Australian Writers Guild. And I believe, I'm pretty sure it was the Writers Guild, at one point in one year, a couple of years back, they merged the Christmas party with Editors Guild and Directors Guild. And actually, it sounds terrible as we're talking about it, but it was actually a really good thing for us writers, because we didn't sort of have to hide behind each other. We were actually hiding behind extroverts, which was great. And they're doing that again this year. It's combined with the Directors Guild. So, yeah, it's actually a good thing.
And a lot of writing is like one type of skill of actually sitting in front of a computer and coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side, the pitching side, which is quite different. How do you go about pitching and helping people with that?
I think we have an idea in our heads in regards to pitching. I know a lot of my students are quite nervous about it, because you suddenly assume it's you at some lectern talking to 10 executives, and it's a very frightening thing. But nowadays, a lot of the pitching that I'm involved with is kind of done by email. So, a production company might say, we have this particular brief, here's a one-liner, can you come up with something? And that's beautiful for me, because I don't just stand there and pitch the story.
Yep.
So it is changing, I think, which is nice. But in regards to advice that I'd give in regards to pitching, I don't really have any. I think know your story so well that you can't fail at the pitch. So when you're standing in front of them and they ask you extra questions about that pitch, you know the answers, you have the answers. So pitchings are just a lot easier when you know your story inside and out, and that's, I guess, the advice I'd give.
Okay. Now, it seems that you've had not only teaching, but you've lots of writing experience in the industry. You've Dr. Blake and Home and Away, One Night Stand, Neighbours. Yeah,
there's a few there. It's sort of, it's kind of funny. It's been about 10 years that I've been writing TV for, and you sort of reel off 3 or 4 credits and think, wow, is that all? It seems like over 10 years it should probably be a bit more. But it just you spend so long on one show that it ends up just being
Is there one that stands out that you liked working on the most? Or?
Oh, Dr. Blake, 100%. Yeah, that was the leap to 1 hour drama for me,
right.
And it also introduced me to the world of murder mysteries, which I now am completely absorbed in, and that's all I want to write. So it's actually hindered me in a way. It's burnt me, because that's the genre that I want to stick with.
Yeah.
But it was an unbelievable experience. So.
And are you still writing for that show, or?
I'm not at the moment. I'm in development with a production company in Queensland.
Okay.
So trying to build my own folio and pitching more, as we've just talked about.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, you can always, that's certainly going on, Dr. Blake, so you could always go back if you come up with a good, you pitch your murder mystery to them.
pitch more crimes, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen a show called Midnight Sun. It's quite incredible. People are always looking for new ways to kill people in regards to murder mysteries. But Midnight Sun, the first 2 minutes is the most unbelievable killing I've ever seen on TV or even in a book. It's quite interesting. So always sort of looking for new ideas and new ways sort of through to find better ways to kill people. It sounds awful, but that's where your head needs to be at for murder mysteries.
It is the horror of every writer is if anybody ever got a hold of their internet search history.
I know. Well, that's so true. I actually had occasionally had some cleaners come through my house, and a couple of them left quite abruptly, and I couldn't work out why. And then I realised that I just had a lot of books on displays in regards to how to poison people and, forensic autopsy books and such. But I know, exactly right. If someone accessed your internet, where would you be? But maybe being a murder writer, a mystery writer, is a good defence in court. Maybe it's a good thing.
Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So the writing could be a cover and you're really a murderer.
Exactly. Oh, God.
That's a good plot twist. If you're planning on, if you've got looking for ideas, there you go. There's one. A writer who's really a killer.
Yes. that is a good one. I'll let you have that. I feel bad stealing it. You can. It's a good one.
So about the course, the Writing for TV Drama coming up in January with Writers Victoria, what can we expect if we were to go?
Sure. So it's one day, and it starts at 10 a.m. and goes through to 4 p.m. I think it's the 14th of January. It's an overview on how to write a TV drama. We talk about structure, essentially, and plot. It's writing for TV. I think 80% of it is building this table, creating these building blocks. It's the craft of screenwriting. And then the art comes in with our own poetry and our own sort of character development and stuff and such. So what I'm teaching is structure, plot, obviously characterization, theme, and then we'll go into detail in regards to specifics of writing opening scenes, entering a scene as late as possible, leaving as early as possible, making sure the students have that base understanding of creative writing in general. And that and lots more.
Yeah, sounds great.
And what is incredible is Chelsea is giving a personal guarantee with this course that you will become a paid writer by the end of this day, which is just incredible.
I'm looking at the page on my Victorian. It doesn't say that anywhere, but okay.
Fine print.
Wouldn't that be amazing if you offered that as part of the course?
You'd sell out within an hour.
Yeah, you'd sell out pretty quickly and then leave the country even quicker. And so when you're looking at something like Dr. Blake, what is roughly the breakdown that when you look at filling up an ABC hour, perhaps compared to a commercial TV hour? How many acts would you put in that?
It's 5 acts. I haven't worked on a 1 hour commercial, but from what I've seen in breakdowns, it's 4 acts. And obviously you're writing to commercial breaks. The Dr. Blake for ABC is longer. It's just a physically longer document because there are no commercials. But it is essentially 5 acts, with the 5th act being smaller. And the structure is essentially very similar to a 1 hour commercial network. How to break it down, that's a really big question. Come to my course and I'll explain it. Obviously the way TV works is you have an overview, a very short paragraph of your episode, then you build to a synopsis, and then you build to a beat sheet. From that beat sheet you're creating your first draft, and then you have subsequent drafts. So that's kind of the way that's the process of it.
And you talked before about a writer's room. So is that something that happens on all shows, or is that an ABC particular thing, do you think?
The writer's room is for all shows.
All shows.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The thing that differs is how those rooms are run and how many people are in the room. So this particular time, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 core people in the Dr. Blake room, and then there are freelance writers who are on the writers list.
Yeah.
So when I was doing Home and Away and a couple of those soaps, there'd be more people in the room.
Right.
So it really does vary on the budget. And obviously there's actually quite a few roles in a TV writer's room, but it depends, in regards to budget, which roles they've decided to take on for that particular show. So say, for example, there's a script researcher. That job is quite rare now.
Right.
Because people can't necessarily afford a full-time script researcher, so they might blend that role with the script coordinator, for example. So, maybe between 3 and 8 people in a room, roughly.
And are they long days? Like, is everyone staring at each other?
They're really long. I mean, they can be. It's not really the length, it's more the energy, the creative output that exhausts you, because I think creatively we can only really maybe work 3 or 4 hours a day, as in just sitting down and writing purely creatively. I think to stretch it out to 8 hours a day, that's not a normal sort of corporate job. That this is creatively outputting. It's just very exhausting. So they feel like long days because there's a lot of energy you have to output.
And do they get sort of violent in the same way like Taiwanese parliament? You know, you see those videos where the fists are thrown and that sort of stuff. Is that, have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
Maybe on Home and Away, because that I would expect that. Perhaps not so much Neighbours, but definitely Home and Away. Is that?
That is exactly the difference. You've nailed it. That's wonderful. There's always a decider in the room. I guess like anyone owning a business, someone has to have 51% so that they're the decider.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's what it is like in Parliament. But there is a bit of back and forth. You learn to how to speak to people in the room. So there's a sort of compliment sandwich kind of situation where you say, look, that's a great idea for another episode kind of thing, but it might not work for this particular episode. Or, I mean, obviously people speak to me like that and so on, because you're very aware that writers are a little bit delicate, because every idea you have, even if it's the source of that idea has come from someone else's imagination, it's still very personal to you. So every idea you put out in the story room is, it's very personal. We're all a bit delicate, so we all need to speak to each other in a certain way, and most people know that language. I've never come across anyone in a room who doesn't know that. So, and as I said, there's always the decider. So there's the producer in the room who says, you know, after we've sort of battled it out, he or she will say, this is what we're going with. So, it's always good to have them there, or the script producer.
Wonderful. And is there a show on Australian television at the moment that you'd like to write for?
Oh, gosh.
Or even American. I mean, anywhere out
what's
there.
the dream job for you right now?
I don't marathon view. I swear I don't, because it takes a lot of time. However, I've had a bit of time off in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 or 3 days, without going into detail, it's been all about Westworld for me, which is, I don't know if you know it, but it's it's an American sci-fi, Western, futuristic thriller.
Yes.
So they're blending quite a few genres there, and it's based on the 1973 movie of the same name by Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
And it's just epic in so many ways, and social media has just exploded over the last episode. So something like that would be incredible.
So would you like to work overseas? Would you like to experience a writer's room in, say, America?
Yeah. Look, I think every writer would.
Yeah.
I think absolutely. As we talked about, just having a mentor or mentors, every writer would jump at the chance of learning more, because they understand that it's sort of a lifelong journey, sort of understanding screenwriting and creative writing in general. So, any country, of course,
Well, there you go. We put it out there.
It's out there now in the universe. It'll happen.
Well, thanks for that. We'll just remind people that Saturday, January 14th is your writing TV drama at
Day after my birthday. Pure coincidence.
Oh, happy birthday if I don't speak to you.
Be sure to mention it, of course. I'm sure they're all thrilled. And so go there. I went to the writing TV comedy, I believe it was, last January. It was great. It was wonderful.
Great.
I really enjoyed it. And what I find really interesting about all those courses is you go, and usually there's a little introduction from everybody and a project that they might be working on or something, just quick one, and usually you think, oh gosh, I don't want to put it out there in case, and then you do, and everybody's project is so different, and you think, how is this possible that there's 20 people with all these very different ideas? But it's inspiring and wonderful, and a really good day for writers, I think. So they'll have a good time with you.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, that sounds great. And did you all start with a core idea, and that core idea was the same, and then you all came up with different ideas?
No, I think they said to us, I think they sent out an email from memory before and said, at the start I think he broke it up, 5 people or something before at the start, and then after lunch or something like that. So we got to hear all these different ideas, which is always really amazing, because you think everyone's got the same idea as you, and of course they haven't.
They haven't, absolutely. And even if they do have the same idea, it's their voice that makes it unique.
Yes.
That's why you should never stop writing something if you find out that it's being developed somewhere else, or your friend's writing a similar thing or whatever. Just keep going, because it's that unique voice that will make it different.
Well, if it is a friend, you can send them around to Chelsea's apartment, and she can see the murder mysteries and how to decompose a body, and they might be scared off from writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My poor neighbours. Yeah.
I think you're on some cleaning blacklist too, it sounds like, from now on. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Your course is going to be fantastic, and come back and talk to us about any other projects you've got going.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.